Don't just go into making clothes, because this is why people think fashion designers are just there to make clothes. We can create artworks, for instance.
I was working in a 22nd floor of a building in finance in a city we all want to visit.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But as a royal hustler, you would wanna be having an impact in the day-to-day life of people you work with and interact with, and you wanna have an impact in the things that you're doing.
Don't just go into making clothes, because this is why people think fashion designers are just there to make clothes. We can create artworks, for instance.
99 FM, good morning. It's Cynthia Shimming in the hot seat today, but the seat is not scorching. It's just brewing with wisdom, with style, with flair, and with finesse, my darlings, because Cynthia Shimming is in the building. And maybe only a few people in fashion who deserve the title of icon, and Cynthia is one of them. And she's just an internationally renowned and award-winning fashion designer, clothing technologist, and she's worked in many different areas of fashion. She's worked as a model, sweetie, as a lecturer, and even a costume designer for film and theater productions. Cynthia, welcome.
My head is 10 kilograms bigger now. Thank you for that introduction.
Yeah, you look absolutely amazing this morning. This is how you wake up. I woke up like this. I just wake up amazing as you.
It depends on where I'm going to and where I'm going to work for the day. If I go to my studio, then it's my, khakis and comfortable shoes. But if I come to visit you, then of course I have to dress up, and then after this I will be in my traveling clothes going to Waterberg.
Okay, so let's take us a little bit back for us. Who is Cynthia Shimming? Where did she grow up? The history thereof.
Cynthia Shimming is a Namibian. I was born in Otjiwarongo by mistake. My mom was pregnant and she traveled with my father. And then I decided I love this place, and I popped out there while everybody was still in Windhoek. But I grew up in the old location. Yeah. Of course, they had to bring the baby back home. And in Karutura. And I went to... At the age of 5, I used to go to the Herero School with my uncle Kapuo, because he was a principal there. And then, of course, we moved to Karutura, but we could not attend school in Karutura because we were so-called coloreds, although I was Herero. And, I'm a child from Karutura. I went to school in Kommersdal, and this is who I am.
Yeah, and how does someone who's been through all of that now all of a sudden just find herself into fashion? How did that happen?
I think I always had a passion for fashion. As girls, we used to make our own clothing for the dolls, and I actually wanted to study arts and culture, drama. My passion was to go into the theater and act and sing and that type of thing. But in our days, parents decided for us what you will become, either a teacher, a nurse, or a doctor. And then, I went to university. I finished my matric. I went to the university for the first semester. And then there was an advert by Sam Cohen that there's a trip to the kibbutz in Israel, and somebody can apply. But I applied, and I ended up in a kibbutz for 6 months. My parents did not know about it. May their souls rest in peace.
Wait, where did they think you were for 6 months?
At the university. It was very easy. You write the letter, send it, put it in an envelope, send it to your friend in Cape Town. She puts it in another envelope, and then send it to Namibia. And this is how we did things. Because parents should not push children in the direction that they are not supposed to be.
Go,
But then when I came back from the kibbutz, I realized that I need papers to go home. So I took a crash course in, secretarial practice or whatever. Mm-hmm. And they paid the university. They realized that no reports are coming. Something is happening.
Something's going on. Yeah. And that exposure being in kibbutz, what did you learn about yourself and where ultimately
humanity, because you worked with children, and it was a time of when they had the raid on on Uganda.
Yes.
There was war. You work with sick people. You work in gardening. It was sharing and spreading the love amongst each other.
Must have been such a special time for you.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Now getting into the fashion industry finally, you're in Namibia. How has fashion really evolved since you came into the scene to now, you would say?
First, while I was working as for Balos in the computer department, I was a model too for Adel Arends, and I was one of Namibia's top models. I was skinny and sexy.
Oh, you still are. Still sexy. Still
and
sexy.
then this is where I found out that my passion is actually design. Yeah. Although I love singing, design is my passion. And after 9 years in this industry, I decided that now it's my time to go and study fashion design. When you find your purpose in life, when you know what's your purpose in life, then that thing that's giving you joy to get up every morning and to go into your studio and work, that is who I am, and this is why I still work at my age in this field. It has evolved. A lot of young designers are coming up. Even now, on the project that I'm working, we have young designers that's dressers, we have stylists in there, they are Namibians. And I'm glad that it's happening. We have Roberto was one of my students who's doing very well in Abisai and happy them. So there is it has evolved, but now with COVID, things are also changing. So we have to change with that.
Indeed. We're just going to put a pin on that just a little bit, play an ad, go to the music, and pick up exactly where we left off, because we're about to dive even deeper into her fashion style, her dream, and as well as her aspirations for the upcoming fashionistas of Namibia. 99 FM, still seated here with the iconic Cynthia Shimming. We left things off with her being oopsied and born in a wrong town altogether, but born and raised in Katutura, and how she found herself in Kabul and having to sneak letters to her friend to send those letters to the parents, because the parents had no idea what Miguel was actually up to, and how that situation really just changed her life for the better. And she talked to us about the evolution of fashion, how proud she is of her students that she's lectured. You've worked with amazing people on big productions as a costume designer, Cynthia. What are your top 3 favorite sets that you've worked on in recent years?
Neoma, where others wavered with Danny Glover. Yes, and then there was the movie Try, and Everything Happens for a Reason. And then, of course, the big thing that happened to us was Drive. It won an award.
Yes.
Yeah. It was the 10 days film, from script up to when you release it. In 10 days, there was no sleep. And then we won, what was the award? I can't even remember, with Caleb.
Yeah, but that's intense.
Yeah.
10 days and you wrap up and it's costumes changes.
It's from script to release, and we won that one. We took the prize from India or South Africa.
Yeah. There's also an iconic dress that you made that is in an exhibition at the Humboldt Forum in Berlin. How did you get involved in such a groundbreaking project?
I was maybe I don't know. I don't even know how this whole thing happened. It could have been any designer, but the Museum Association of Namibia wanted to start fashion museum for Namibia, something like the Met. And then my colleagues decided that I'm the right person to go, because in the museum we have artifacts that were stolen or looted. So, and me being Hero, half and a little bit of German, they thought I was the right person to go. So for the first month I went, and then the others followed. It was not a beautiful experience. It was very traumatic to see things that were taken, to see necklaces ripped from little boys' necks, during the time of the genocide. In fact, I did not even want to touch the genocide. But then the museum that I was working for in Berlin, in Dahlem, they commissioned me to do a piece to go into the Humboldt Forum. In the beginning, I was very skeptical. I didn't want to do it because for me it was the rebellion in me. You kept all these things for 100 years. Why do you want to display it in this castle now? To show the world that this is what you have and it's your pride or whatever. And it's a very sensitive topic. It's not only about Namibia, Benin, Tanzania. They don't even want to put their things in there. We are not putting any of our objects in the vitrine. And I had to come up with something. As much as I didn't want to do it, I wanted the story to be told. This is why I have, the dress should not be the focus of the thing. It's what's behind it. The landscape, and that landscape, the inspiration came from a blanket that was donated by the Friedrichs family from Lüderitz to Dr. Nachtigal. And the inspiration is the tortoise shell. And the tortoise shell has patterns. And those I use,
tapestry.
Yes, I use as frames for the horrible pictures that was in the album. This guy, von Tettelbach was his surname. He came to Namibia to take pictures of people hanging while he's playing with his dog. Horrible pictures, and I had to show the world that the genocide really happened, because a lot of Germans still don't believe that. They think it was fiction and we are just talking nonsense. And I didn't want to display it in a brutal way. I still want my child or my grandchild to go to the museum and see the history that we are not taught and the Germans are not taught. You know, and a lot of times I also ask myself, why is it that the genocide is pushed behind and the Holocaust is more important? Murder is murder.
Yes, it is.
And why do we give it a difference? Why are we not treated the same way as the Jews?
Indeed.
So this is why I came up with this, and it was about a landscape. They're talking about a blanket.
Yes.
This woman, faceless, is trying to, I filled it with the horrible stories. I had my Samuel Maharara on there. I had Witboy on there. And I'm just, they depopulated our landscape, so I'm filling it up with my people again. And I'm trying to break out of this vitrine so that I can take my people home.
Yeah. No, that is such a beautiful story whereby we tell our own story about our own history, because no one else will. Finally, unfortunately, we really are out of time. What is your advice to young designers on how they can stay relevant? Because the industry that you're in, the fashion industry, it's ever evolving.
Stay true to yourself, believe in your dreams, but don't get stuck in one place. Don't just go into making clothes, because this is why people think fashion designers are just there to make clothes. We can create artworks, for instance.
Oh, thank you so much, Cynthia. We would love to have you back, of course, and we would love to hear more about, the productions that you're working on, but more so about the kids that you've inspired, because you've worked in this industry for such a long time, and you deserve all of the accolades that come your way. You've done an exceptional job.
Thank you so much for inviting me, and thank you for the coffee.
It's delicious. That's Cynthia Shimming, icon in the industry, a renowned award-winning fashion designer, clothing technologist, and just a hearty maiden in this fashion industry of Namibia.
Getting GoTV was the best decision James has ever made. See, finding a good place to watch football was never easy, but it was costly. Until one day, James discovered something big. Now he can finally enjoy the perks of home ground advantage. Get home ground advantage when you get GoTV. For just $349, you can enjoy the world's biggest leagues and cup competitions this football season. GoTV. Love it.
Hi there, parents. Do you have primary school kids and want them to get extra quality supplementary lessons to up their grades? Then simply switch to One Africa TV's #LearnOn1, where your kids can get maths, English and science lessons every weekday from 9 to 11 a.m. with repeats from 2 to 4 p.m. And thanks to NMH's MyZone, these lessons are 100% Namibian. There's so much to learn with #LearnOn1. Invite learning in.
Mpaka tuyadha otuli pamwe nangoe mompombo mainyanyudho otse ea mukuru okuzangenea toterwe mombo omaovigani nikupaigiyali omrunga radio ogwakala nokukundaneka okunyanyudha nokuyakuroshigwana omrunga radio yotango monamibia.
I was working in a 22nd floor of a building in finance in a city we all want to visit.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But as a royal hustler, you would wanna be having an impact in the day-to-day life of people you work with and interact with, and you wanna have an impact in the things that you're doing.
So that 99 FM, your inspiration station, top of the morning. So you're just joining us. It is Sibo and Mo in the morning. Sibo is seated very, very far from me, which I feel so sad. But it's fine. She is replaced by a gentleman by the name of David Akinen. He is our royal hustler for this morning. Now get this. This is a very, very well-accomplished young man. He is a holder of a BA, General Honours and Economics Honours with a Dean's List. He also holds a Master's of Philosophy degree specializing in inclusive innovation. David was the MD and founder of the Namibian Property Group, director of Imanya Capital Group, and founder and director of OpenFin Technologies, amongst many other impressive portfolios. Today, David is the CEO of Jabu Logistics, a company based in the capital. Yo, David, good morning.
Good morning. I must say, if you've not been to this office and felt the vibe, there's no point in continuing to listen to this station.
Well, thank you. Yeah. Thank you. It's all Sibo. It's really all her. She brings the magic, and we really do appreciate it. Thank you so much for being our royal hustler for this morning.
It's an honor and a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Firstly, a very, very impressive resume there, but let's take it a step back, okay? Tell us a bit about yourself, who you are, where you were born, how your childhood was like, dusty streets, which ones were they?
My streets were full of mangoes.
Oh, okay.
I grew up in Caracas, in Venezuela, in South America.
Okay.
I'm one of 4 brothers. My mom's Moroccan and my dad's Spanish.
Okay.
And we moved to the States when we were young. My brothers and I were actually kidnapped, and we had a tough time. Venezuelan people, this is a little plug. We've had a tough time in the last couple of years. About 5 million of us are refugees or have left our country in the last couple of years.
Wow.
Many of them moved to other Latin American countries. I went to the States. I studied in the United States. I worked at Google for a few years and then at Credit Suisse in New York in a bank. But I had a very strong passion to come to my mom's continent, where she grew up and where all my grandparents were from. And I took every one of my vacations traveling. I went to the first place I went to was Nigeria. I went to Angola. I went to Ethiopia. And in 2014, I came to Namibia and I completely fell in love.
Yeah.
Since then, I've been living here.
Yeah. Which part of Namibia did you fall in? Like, what was it about Namibia that you just said, oh my word?
It's a busy region.
I must say, one of my favorite places in Namibia is Dibundu.
Okay.
And it's underrated. But
Sibo, calm down.
You will not believe this. I moved from Manhattan to Grootfontein, to a place called Mwabatere, in Omulunga.
Yo.
And I actually first came to Namibia to build housing. The construction company 2 of my brothers run it today, it's called Atenu Developments. I literally took off my suit, put on some boots, and moved to Grootfontein and started building housing in an extension.
Look, David, I've never been to New York.
Or Grootfontein.
But I don't know, I've been to Grootfontein. And just the contrasts, like it's so... It's almost worlds apart, quite literally, almost even.
I would challenge you to take a step back. I was working in a 22nd floor of a building in finance in a city we all want to visit.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But as a royal hustler, you would wanna be having an impact in the day-to-day life of people you work with and interact with, and you wanna have an impact in the things that you're doing.
So that is something that's been influencing a lot of the decisions that you've been making.
100%.
Impact, influence, being very, leaving a mark, as it were.
100%. And more than that, interacting, engaging. A lot of us wake up, go to work. Somebody told me the other day, oh, but I'm a teacher, or I work in accounting. How can I have an impact? How many of you know the name of the lady that cleans your office? Right? When you work in a big corporate world. If you work at a big bank in Namibia today, the biggest impact you can have is wake up, come in, put a smile on somebody else's face.
Yeah.
And I think just there you can have an impact. So impact you find in whatever you do, could have been at the bank. I have a passion for what I do today. From the construction company, we moved over to Jabu. And I would say at the core of everything we do is being able to create employment and to provide inspiration to the people who engage with us to do work every day.
David, what has kept you motivated all of these years? What really just every other day or every day even, what keeps you motivated?
3 things. Family is number 1 for me. 2 of my brothers actually moved to Namibia, and we're 4 brothers in total, so 3 of us are here.
Yeah.
I think family is really important, and for those of you who are lucky to have one, cherish it, work hard. Like that for me is my number 1 motivation. The second one is the Namibian people. Every single person, whether you're highly educated or just coming out of a bad turn, has a huge heart in this country.
Yeah.
And whenever I have an idea, a challenge, a mission, we all come together and work as one. And I think when you can find a team in everything you do, you're excited about it. And the third one is that there is this feeling that when there's a will, there's a way.
Right.
Life is full of challenges. When you're an entrepreneur, when you're trying to build something, every time you will find no's. But if you can actually think of it instead of a roadblock and saying, hey, we're not going to be able to accomplish it, but rather see it as hey, here's an opportunity to change something or to work on something. I think that's probably one of the most inspiring things I have, is just challenges every day, and I see them as opportunities rather than problems.
No, definitely. We're going to take a quick a song, and when we do get back, we're going to pivot a bit, talk about the work that you're busy with, your career, and all of the world-changing initiatives that you have your hands in.
Amazing.
112 saying peaches and cream. 7:45 is the number. Is the time in studio. We do have a royal hustler this morning, a man that left New York, that left Manhattan to come stay in Grootfontein. Hi. I mean, there's nothing wrong. I'm just saying that it's something that's quite difficult to reconcile in my mind, and I do apologize. He goes by the name of David Ekinen. He is busy with a lot of work here in the country. So, David, what's the most fulfilling aspect of your career? I mean, you did mention that you are the founder and CEO of Jabu, which is a company that you are busy with right now. But, you know, in addition to that, what really just makes you all giddy when you wake up in terms of your work?
Knowing that there is today at Jabu 174 people that work with us, that go back home, feed their families, and come back to give their day to the mission of what we're trying to accomplish. And I think if they're all willing to do that, I cannot be more excited than to be part of it.
And understanding that when, in an African context, when you employ anybody, the multiplier effect to that, you're feeding more than just one fam or one person within that particular family. How do you keep on top of your game? You know, how do you stay agile, on the pulse of things? You did mention that Jabu is a tech company in itself. You know, how do you stay on top of your game?
Yeah, I think I have to do nothing for it. If everyone else is on top of their game, it's unbelievable. And when you see everyone around you just hustling, I would say everyone at Jabu is a royal hustler. It's just a shame they don't fit in this room to be part of this. But you know, we're a tech company. Maybe I can tell you a little bit what we do. You'll understand why we're hustling.
Yeah.
We are trying to power the way in which a spaza shop, a tuck shop, a home shop, a Shabin orders and sources and stock their products. You know, when the pandemic started, you would find that the taxis were shut down, people could not all go and move around, people were afraid of paying with cash and traveling around town. And that's when we discovered a huge challenge, which is anyone who owns an informal sector shop, whether it be a cabana stand, a market stand, even a little tuck shop, has to take a taxi or find some combined transport to go to a big wholesaler, buy products at a retail price, and sell them again in their shop for a very expensive price. We're disrupting that. We're trying to disturb the balance by actually supplying directly with trucks, with free delivery, with an app to all of these shop owners at an amazing price so that they can be competitive in today's economy.
You answered that question in 45 seconds, 15 seconds more than what Sibo and I have allowed our SMEs and startups to do, because what we're doing is on our startup segment, we're allowing callers who own SMEs 30 seconds to talk about their business or what differentiates their businesses. And you really just touched, or you hit the nail on the head with that one, because I was going to ask you, what is setting Jabu Logistics apart? What differentiates you from every other logistics company? I mean, it's absolutely brilliant. Look, we are out of time, but lastly, before we let you go, what excites you about the land of the brave? What is this? What is something about this country that you just like, wow?
Namibia
Aside from Divundu and Katima, Sipo is out here.
I think Namibia is known for its diamonds, for its beauty, for its nature, for its animals. But we are on a challenge, on a road to make Namibia known for its technology and for its innovation. And I think our team, combined with many other startups in Namibia, are working really hard against the current, I would say, to make sure that we put in the map Namibia. We've recently raised money from international investors, venture capital firms. We're also working very hard to train and bring in talent and create talent locally in software development to put ourselves in the map. And that's what I'm most excited about, to say that Namibia is a tech house, to say that Namibia is innovating with technology and that we are digitizing our future.
Wow, brilliant. If there's a young man, a boy child listening to David, or even a girl child for that matter, if any other Namibian listening to you today, what would, closing message, what would you want them to take away from this conversation?
I would say that you have to think about what you want to be when you grow up, and you have to work really hard in telling everyone that you're going to accomplish it. A lot of people try to derail us and tell us that we cannot follow our dreams or that your dreams are going to be these or those. And I think when you listen to an interview like this, you reach out to people who inspire you, you reach out to the radio host, you reach out to the people you meet on the streets that you like, and you pursue your dreams. You're responsible for your own destiny.
Brilliant. Again, this week's Royal Hustlers have been on fire. Thank you, David, so much for coming through, for your time. We really appreciate the words and just sharing with us a bit of your life and leaving Manhattan to come to Grootfontein. That was David Ackinen, our Royal Hustler for this morning. Stay inspired on 99 FM.
Royal Hustlers was proudly brought to you by Namdeb Diamond Corporation.
Good today, better tomorrow.
Hi beautiful souls, this is Nikita Winkler and I am here to share easy tools for stretching that you can do just about anywhere. This is a demonstration, so what's most important is that you take the time that your body needs in each position to release its tension. Let's get started. In this session, we will be massaging the feet using a tennis ball or anything alike. You can do this sitting or standing. So first I'm going to place the ball in the center of the foot. And I'm going to press into the ball to feel the foot open up. And then I'm going to start rolling the ball vertically from the inside of the foot to the center and to the outside. And I'm giving enough pressure to feel tension release. Next, I'm going to take the ball to the front of the foot, press into it, feel the ball of the foot open up, and then I'm just going to do horizontal motion, side to side. Last, I'm going to place my toes on the ground and the ball close to the heel of the foot, underneath the heel of the foot. And again, same, horizontally, side to side. And that's about it. If you feel a lot of tension, then just stop there, press into it, and hold it until the tension releases. The benefits of this foot massage is that the body is covered in connective tissue, which starts in the feet. So by releasing tension in your feet, you're actually releasing tension in the rest of the body. Thank you for joining me. Don't forget to breathe into your feet and happy stretching.
all night long. Shades of this motel keeping me in bed. Reading the news, just trying to stay strong. I need to just get up, take a deep breath, keep it together, 'cause it